The Muscle Car and Corvette Nationals is truly a series of shows within the big show. And I'm standing here now with Mr. Tim Wellborn, who's no stranger to putting on shows, considering you've got your own muscle car museum.
Yeah, we've been here several times, and we bring cars out of the museum, and I want to tell you, this is the event to bring your cars to. It's worth every bit of the effort, and for anybody who's ever thought about going to a great show where you see all of the muscle car era in one place, this is why you come here, and that's why we bring our cars here from the museum.
Well, that's a heck of a testimonial coming from a guy like you that can go out in your own place and see this stuff. So.
Yeah, we kind of take it for granted every once in a while at our museum, but yes, this is the place to bring them to. It's great exposure for the cars and the preservation of the muscle car, because let's face it, we're all getting older. We want generations behind us to know what these cars were. And
well, I think the muscle car is kind of unique because everybody likes them. The bright colors, the style, and then those who know the special ones dig that even more.
They do, and I call it the psychedelic drug years when it comes to a Mopar, why you have pink and purple and all these colors, because it's from an era that was really a fun era. We had the biggest motors, the wildest colors, the wildest stripes on the car. We do luckily have a new generation coming with the new Challengers and Camaros and Mustangs, which in a way I think that's going to make these cars even live longer, because the people who are buying the Challengers and stuff today, one day they're going to want to step back to, well, I want to buy what my dad had. They're going to want, so I think it's actually giving life to these muscle cars down the road.
I agree. So we're here in a class of 1970 invitational display. Tell me what you brought up.
We brought up 6 cars, as a matter of fact. We have behind us a 1970 Cuda 440 with air conditioning. Makes it pretty doggone rare. They made 28 of these cars. We have a car behind it, the 1970 Hemi Cuda 4-speed. That car's got a real fun story, because that's the very first car that my brother Curtis and Mike and I bought together in 1978. And like a lot of things, you sell it, and it got sold along about 1980 and went to a gentleman in Mississippi, and the car resurfaced this year up in Indianapolis. And of course my brothers and I, we stepped up and said, that's going back home.
Wow.
And, after almost 30 years.
30 years. So now how did you know it was the same car?
Oh, it was easy. There's very few cars that I've ever owned that I don't know every detail about.
Right.
And this one's cool because it's a 4-speed, it's got a leather interior, and the overhead console. If it was a Challenger R2, you'd be calling an SE package, but to see that on a Hemi Cuda is really, really rare. So it was, when you saw that package together, you started calling Dana Meekum real quick. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so what, you were getting an email from them or something?
Oh yeah,
And you went, that's my car?
That's exactly what happened.
Wow.
And I'm like, instantly your eye went to it, that's our old car.
It found you.
It actually did.
Too cool.
And then the other 2 cars we have here is a 1970 Challenger RT. It's one of the 6 promo cars. And then following it, we have a plum crazy purple 70 RT with a 383 in it. So that's the 4 that's sitting around us right now.
Sure, and then out in front is a new acquisition.
Yeah,
right?
we just got one that's sitting out front. Saw it first time here yesterday, and it's a, after the restoration, it's a Curious Yellow on Cuda. With louvers, spoiler, billboard stripe, dual racing mirrors, hood pins, road lamps, painted bumpers, which it's the eye snap for that car. Yes, it's a 383, but when you look at the options, it's everything Mopar that could throw at you to make you like, whoa, I got to go look at this car.
Yeah, that is too cool. Well, we really appreciate you supporting this event and bringing stuff out. And where can people learn more about a visit to the Wellborn Muscle Car Museum?
Well, we're in Alexander City, Alabama. You can go to WellbornMuscleCarMuseum.com. And if you're ever in that area, we will be glad to have you come by and help us preserve a little piece of an American muscle car heritage.
Well worth the trip. Thank you, Tim.
Well, thank you, Kevin. Look forward to seeing you again.
Yep.
All right.
We spoke with Tim Wellborn about the cars that the Wellborn Muscle Car Museum brought out to the Muscle Car and Corvette Nationals, but now I'm here with Pam, and you are the other half of the dynamic duo when it comes to the museum. And what is the car behind us that you find so attractive?
This blue Cuda has been with us a very long time, and we bought her from a friend of ours, Dave Jones. Actually, he visited here today, and that's what I love most about this meet is there's so many old friends here that have come together with their cars and went to a lot of trouble to be here. But this car Tim bought, actually before we got married, and it was a few years after we got married that we were building our business, and she was always a trophy in our collection, even then, and we realized how wonderful she was. And unfortunately, we made the decision to sell her at that time, but the gentleman that bought her gave us the first right of refusal in case he decided to sell her. So we thought, okay, let's do it. Let's roll the dice. Fortune had it that we saw her at the Mopar Nationals a few years back, and she was for sale. We were successful enough to buy her back, and she's not going anywhere. She's home. She's in her museum for life, and I welcome everyone to come and see her at the Wellborn Muscle Car Museum.
You mentioned that this car, you keep calling it her. Does this one have a name, or?
We don't do that. We don't name the cars, but pretty much.
But they have a gender.
And it's funny, but I have all the convertibles are girls.
Ah.
All the convertibles are girls, and I call them mine. Yeah. It's really funny, but in the museum, all the convertibles are mine. Tim's pride and joy are those big, fat Hemi cars with the 4 speeds. Oh yeah, those are all Tim's, and I let him claim that all day long, but the girls are mine.
That's cool. Well, thanks for bringing it out and taking the time. We appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
Great to see you.
It's been a pleasure to talk with you.
Thank you.